Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Vince Cartier, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a melody using 5 different notes inside of the MIDI region. You guys want to be here to check this out, and I don't know what scales you don't even need to worry about it. I mean, I'm sure at the end of it will eventually be in a scale, but I'm going to be choosing 5 different notes and showing you how to create that melody. Okay, so let's begin. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do, let me just take that out. You open it up. I set my BPM, we're at, let's do 150. 5 notes. Let's start off with 5 notes. I don't know which note I'm going to choose yet. Alright, so the first step is you want to have something that you can actually sing to. Alright, so these are my 5 notes. If you can sing this, da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I'm going to continue to repeat this over and over because the purpose of a good melody is you want it to be repetitive, but not so repetitive as it's doing the same thing over and over. When we get more in depth in the video, you guys are going to see how I'm going to change it up. Alright, so we have a 4-bar melody. We could make it 5. Let's make it 5. Alright, so those are your 5 notes. Remember, it has to make sense musically. If you can't sing it, if it's hard to catch on to, then scrap it. Da, 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 da. If you can sing it and bop your head to it, then it's fine. How music works is you have a top line melody, you have the chords to support the melody, and then you have the bass notes to support the chords. Alright, so the bass is really the foundation of the music. Alright, so let's work on our bass. And then we may change up the top line just for variation. I think you guys heard where that was going. So it's going da 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 da. Cool, right? Alright, now let's put in our chords. So we have our chords. Well, let's add another note. So these are the bass notes. Bass notes, right? These are the middle notes of the chord, and this is going to be the top line of the chord. And just pretty much you want to follow your ears. It's like if your ears are telling you the melody should go up, then move the melody up. If it's telling you that the melody should go down, the pitch should go down, then pitch everything down. But it has to make sense. Like it just doesn't sound right. It sounds like it's clashing, like 2 cars are bucking up into one another. So what I did was I changed that note to match the note that's inside of the chord that we put down earlier. So if we look at the chord, this chord is a A, C, E flat, A, yeah, so it's an A flat chord. If the chord is A flat, you want to use the notes that's a part of that chord in order to fit the melody. This is not one of those cases. Alright, so let's add another top line to this. And this is what I'm hearing inside of my head. I just sing the tune in my head and then I'm able to play it, put it inside of the MIDI region. So, you see how that's wrong? It sounds bad. Or you can just use more notes that's inside of this chord. This chord is a B. It's a B flat minor. So you just use notes inside of the B flat minor scale. Alright, so what I want to do with this is that I'm pairing da, 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 da. Now of course it's in the wrong position, so I just gotta move it around to fit what I'm singing. Actually, that's not bad. Alright, so let's hear what we have from the top. I'm gonna take the bottom note from my chord and drop it down an octave. Dropping it down an octave is Alt, Option, Shift, and arrow. Bring it down. Well, I want to keep that the same. Right? Right? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select everything, which is Command and A, and I'm going to go inside of my transform, and I'm going to do random velocities. Because you don't want your notes to be so static. You want it to be more dynamic, and you want it to have some changes inside of it. Alright, so this is the range that I'm going to be using. I'm thinking as a musician, right? I don't want the piano player to be hitting the note so hard. Alright, so I'm just going to choose a range and as to where I want these notes to hit. Alright, select an opera again. That sounds a little bit better. Right? Now I'm going to go back into this MIDI transform, and I'm going to go into humanize. Humanize is to make the notes feel more realistic. I'm just going to change it up so the notes aren't slightly on time to make it more realistic, to add that human feel to it. That tool is called humanize. We have open up a new VST, and the VST that I'm going to use is the Dune 3, and the sound bank that I'm going to be using. Shout out to Casey Supreme. We got some dope sounds in here. Let's switch it to, let's go to keys. Alright, I'm going to mute the first layer. Nah, not that. That one was pretty cool. I like that. So what I'm going to do is, because I know my computer is going to be doing some wild stuff, I'm just going to bounce it out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to subtract from that main melody. Alright, we're just going to use another sound, and we're going to subtract from the main melodies. I like to subtract based on what's needed. I already have a main melody, so I don't need another main melody. I need something that's going to support that melody, and that's probably why I'm going to choose a pad. And normally what a pad plays, sometimes a pad can play a lead line, and sometimes a pad can play chords. So that's the purpose that I'm going to use this pad for. I'm going to keep this as a copy. Just put this on the side. I'm going to remove the bass notes because you don't need the bass notes. And then I'm going to take out the top line. Right? Let's just see how it sounds, because I may leave some of this in there, just depending how it sounds. So the chords aren't so boring. Alright, so it has some movement. Let's hear it. That's cool, but I'm just going to turn these down a little bit. And again, this is all at your own discretion. There's really no rules to it. Just make sure you're producing music with feeling. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to choose my counter melody using this. So it's just a simple change, just a simple walk up. Now I could have done that to everything inside of each measure, but I choose not to do that. This is our melody, guys. So we have 3 pieces of the melody. We have the main melody, we have the pad to support the melody, and we have the counter melody. Alright, so let's see if we can get a beat out of this. Well, I already did a drum groove to it, and this is what we have. Let's do this. Let's bounce this loop. Let's make a loop out of the loopity loop, 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 loopity loop, loopity loop. And I'm going to, let's see how it sounds when we drop it 12. Drop it an octave. The 808. Let's just do Kush. And what I normally would have done, I would have saved the MIDI region to use for the 808, but I'm gonna just play it. Make sure your 808s are in tune. Alright, so how you know if your 808 is in tune or not? You play the melody. Dun, right, so dun, that's the key you're in. It's not dun, it's dun. So what you want to do is, you want to make sure that you find a note on the 808 that matches that tune. Alright, not the whole tune, but the key of the song. That's what we call it. We call it keys. Alright, so that is the right note. Notice, keep in mind, any one of these notes would work, but it's the note that fits best and what sonically sounded to that key. So I'll just do a representation of what is not correct. Right? That could work, but it's not right. Let's do another one. No. Let's choose a white key, because this song is in a black key. That's an out of tune 808. Let's do another one. Now while it's grooving, shit, it ain't right. It ain't right, and it don't sound right. So let's stop using out of tune 808s. Alright, so let's choose the right 808. We're in F minor, I think? Yeah, F minor. Alright, so let's put down the pattern. So we're going to change it up a little bit so it isn't so static. Remember, variation. Even though we're doing simple melodies, because it's so simple, we have to compensate for making the arrangement nice. Like, alright, so we have, and now I'm going to drop the 808 an octave. Again, that's Option, Alt, Shift, and down arrow. Alright, so in this case, the 808 is too low, so I'm just going to pitch everything up. 2 more keys. Alright, so that's pretty much the beat. Let's bounce this out. Save processing power. Alright, cool. Alright, and the beat drops right here. Verse. Second half of the verse. Then we come back to the chorus. Alright, and that's pretty much the whole beat, guys. Alright, cool. How to create the melodies. So you want to start off with 3 easy steps. First thing is, start putting some MIDI notes inside of the MIDI region. 2, make sure that it is singable. If you can't sing it, if it's hard to sing, if it's not catchy, you need to find something that's more repetitive. So you want to put in chords that's going to support that melody that you have. Alright, so you put in chords that's going to support the melody you have. Now there are some melodies that doesn't require chords, or you don't need chords for the melody, depending on what you want to be. 4th thing, you place your bass notes down. The bass note that you're using is either going to be from that chord, that last note from the bottom note of that chord. So if you have 3 chords, this is the MIDI. MIDI 1, MIDI note 1, MIDI note 2, MIDI note 3. That bass note, that very first note at the bottom layer of the chord, you're just going to bring that down an octave for your first, alright, melody. Alright, that's going to be your first melody. And in the second melody, you're going to have a pad. You're just going to be subtracting notes from that MIDI region, that first MIDI region, to have a pad. And remember, a pad can play a melody, but a pad is normally used for holding the chords, holding the foundation together. It's really the glue that's going to hold that melody together. Last but not least is you're going to get that MIDI region and you're going to create a counter melody with those notes. Now you don't necessarily have to use those notes, but it does make the process more easier because you can see exactly which notes you're going to be taking out, So guys, so you want to make sure, guys, make sure this is something that comes with practice, time, and dedication. If you're not putting in the hours, you're not going to see results. It's like working out in the gym. Alright, you go to the gym, you put in that time, you're going to see some gains. But if you're not practicing this stuff like every day, it's not going to come by osmosis. Believe that. It's not going to come by osmosis. So just know, guys, a producer is always learning. And just to keep in contact with me, my Twitter is VinceCartier_. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.